Welcome back to Rockin' Food. This is a concept where we take all our musical artists from our labels across the world and we put them into their favourite restaurants and we get them to pick their favourite dish. We get into their head, we get into their mind and we get into their stomach. Today I'm seeing Jagger Alexander-Erber. At 9 years old, he was touted as one of the best drummers in Australia. He's now 15 and I want to see what he's been up to the last few years. Come and join me.
Naoki, my brother.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you today?
Good.
I'm here to order my favorite spicy tuna rolls.
Sure thing, Jagger.
Cool, I'm off to the table.
Yep.
Ah, nice.
Oh, look at this. Beautiful. Ooh, and
Thank you very much.
you want some wasabi with that? Some wasabi?
Yeah, can I please have some wasabi?
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I understand you love hot food, but why that dish?
For some reason, raw tuna and the way how this restaurant does it with the beautiful mix with the sesame seeds and the sticky rice, it's so delicate. This is the best.
Where do you think the love of hot food comes from?
From my dad, for sure. He loved spice when he was really young, and I love curry, I love hot curries.
I hear that it was the Asian influence, a Japanese or Chinese restaurant, that you actually started playing drums with chopsticks. Tell me about the chopsticks that you started playing drums with.
I mean, I can't remember the specific moment, but
How old do you think you were?
about 4, 5.
Wow.
You know, my dad used to take me to Chinese restaurants all the time, and we actually used to fly to Hong Kong a lot. And I love my Chinese food, and I don't know, I just picked up some chopsticks and started playing around the table on all the cups.
Yeah.
Instead of him telling me to shut up and eat my food, he told me, he looked at me and he went, "Ooh, you got something there." And he went to the Toys R Us. Next hour, went to Toys R Us and bought me a plastic drum kit for like $50. I went home and he kept on going back and forth back to Toys R Us because I'd play the thing so hard the plastic would break. And then one day, I think it was like Christmas or something, he bought a drum kit for $250 on eBay, and we went and picked it up. And I remember that moment. It was this old beaten up blue drum kit. We put stickers all over it, and yeah, now we're here.
So tell me about you. Tell me about your drumming. Tell me about how it started. Tell me about Australia's Got Talent. Tell me about everything. I want to know it all.
I was introduced to music at a really young age. My dad brought me into his office and he played Black Dog by Led Zeppelin, and that made me just take an interest in music. And from then, I started exploring new bands like Silverchair and Green Day and Fall Out Boy. And
Tell me about your influences. Tell me about what music's meant to you over the years.
I don't know, my dad had this girlfriend back in the day, whoever it was, and she recorded the music video for The Pretender by the Foo Fighters on the TV. And I remember watching that and how Taylor Hawkins comes up and he's in front at his beautiful drum kit, and he's got the massive red screen at the back of him and he's drumming, and I watched that video, and from that day, that's what made me drum.
So how old were you when you went on Australia's Got Talent?
I was about 9 years old when I went on Australia's Got Talent. My dad came to me and he went, "Do you want to do this, actually do another audition on your own?" So we did Won't Get Fooled Again by The Who. And it was a real great experience, and it was a real fire starter to the career. But it just made me realize that, this is not where I want to be, and this is not what I want to be remembered as. I want music to be the legacy and not to be remembered as that kid, that cute blonde kid that played drums.
Like
you
a
know?
novelty.
Yeah, just a novelty.
And so you were put together with Steve Balby.
I remember it was something, he was releasing his new album, Black Rainbow. He did a special acoustic performance, and we just started talking, and we ended up making the band Moon, which was me, another guy named Mark Ward, and we got in the studio. And
How old were you now?
I was about 10. And
so you made your first album when you were 10?
I was 10, and I didn't know anything, you know, because by then I was just, all I got told to do was to just solo and impress. I didn't know how to be in a natural band. I didn't know how to keep in time or in the pocket, or I didn't really know how to be a real drummer, if that makes sense. I was good, but you know, I was rubbish in being in a band setting. He was sort of like a sensei, like a Mr. Karagi type character, where he'd tell me everything to do, and he'd really beat my ass about it. And he told me everything. He taught me everything. He guided me along this way, and I just wrote this amazing album with them in the studio called The Orbiter. I came out the other end really knowing what I was doing, and really knowing what I wanted to do.
And what was that?
Writing music.
I just wanna be happy. I just wanna be happy.
How did you get from the Foo Fighters and Nirvana all the way up to grindcore? I don't understand how you made that leap.
My mum showed me the Sex Pistols when I was quite young, and I completely caught a thing for that. And then my dad showed me the Dead Kennedys. And when I was about 13, I was in Year 8 and picked up a rebellious act, and I was real angsty and just angry with everything. I got into bands like Bad Brains and Descendants and Black Flag, and I wrote the most angry, rage, aggressive, punk-fueled, raw energy song.
So Jagger, I hear that with your single from the kids' school, you actually emailed out all the parents the link to the song, and you got suspended.
I had all these kids coming up to me saying, "I love your song."
I just wanna be happy. I'll be happy, fuck myself, fuck my life, fuck you, fuck the world, because now I'm standing for happiness.
This one redhead kid that came up to me who was like in Year 5, and he comes to me and he goes, "It's a joke you got suspended. You gotta fight for your freedom." I look at anarchy as something whatever my authority says it is, you know. Good people are gonna disobey bad rules. I feel like people need to, you know, drop their usual listenings like Ariana Grande and Travis Scott and listen to us and stomp around their room not giving a shit. We're the kids, the naughtiest band of all time, and yeah, we're the voice of our generation.
Tell me about your best fast food experience. I know you've done lots of traveling around the world, but where do you love your favorite food?
Well, when I go to LA, it's all about Crunchwrap Supremes from Taco Bell, or the Baconator from Wendy's,
Oh.
or I don't know, or just a cheeseburger from Shake Shack. But I always go to Five Guys Burgers and Fries. Best burgers in the world, without a doubt.
Okay, so I'm getting that you're a bit of a fast food guy, but putting fast food and tuna sashimi, etc. aside, what's your favourite food outside of that? What's the one food that you could go back to time and time again that you've loved your whole life? Like, this is a taste you've acquired, but what's the one meal that you've had your whole life? Is there a consistent meal?
Well, as much as I love my mum's cooking, I mean, my grandfather's pasta is the most beautiful
Your
dish.
grandfather's part.
It's just straight strained tomato sauce, and he chops up olives into it. He puts the perfect amount of salt and pepper, garlic cloves and all that, and that's just been passed down to generations, and that's been passed down to him.
Jagger, tell me about what's the future for you as a musician. Where do you see yourself?
We've been touring with some big bands recently. I mean, we toured this year with LA Guns. We toured this year with Skid Row. And at the end of this year in December, we are ending it off playing with Living Colour at the Metro, which will be our biggest gig yet with a few thousand people, which we're really excited about. And that's going to be a great way to end off this high note in our career for the kids.
Thank you, my man. All right.
Thanks, man. I got to go to a meeting.